Three of them things. 3 victories. We have a win streak. It is official. The Knicks beat down, destroyed, demolished the Washington Wizards. And because of that, we now have our first win streak of the season. 3 wins straight. I've been waiting a long time to say this, so let me say it because I can't wait. We got 3 of them things. The Knicks destroy the Wizards. We blow them out, and we did it as soon as the first quarter started by shooting 3 after 3. We were just raining threes down on them at each and every single turn. Now, before we get started with today's show, as you guys already know, we have a goal to try to get to 20,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy content like this and you like daily Knick updates, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we could really because we could really use all of the great support that you guys give us so we can continue to create all of the great content for you guys. But now, getting into tonight's game, the Knicks came, saw, and conquered. They knew they were going up against a Washington Wizards team. They knew that team was going to be a very weak team. Likely a team that wasn't going to push them around or do something that they needed to worry about. The Knicks took hold of this game from the first quarter, and it started with our stars, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. They set the tone by being aggressive, passing the ball, moving themselves. But the three-point shot was beautiful. The three-point shot was beautiful tonight for the Knicks. They were shooting it. They were getting open looks. They were moving the ball around, and each and every player was hitting the shot when they were open. It was beautiful basketball to watch. And even on the other side of the ball, on the defensive end, even though there were still holes to fill out, I thought the Knicks were still giving effort on that end and doing a little bit better. We're going to break down exactly how the Knicks demolished the Washington Wizards, how we got our 3rd win straight, and how we are on a winning streak right now, what things we did well. But one of the main things that we continue to do well is pass the ball and move the ball. We're going to break down all of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks destroy the Wizards, and they achieved their first win streak of the season. I am so happy to say that the Knicks have won 1, 2, 3 of them things. We beat the Nets twice, and we just beat the Washington Wizards. And might I add, we beat the Wizards in blowout fashion. Now, I know some of you guys might want to rain on the party. Well, Troy, we didn't beat the really good teams yet. We just beat the Nets, who really aren't a great team. And then we beat the Wizards, who are actively trying to tank because they want to try to get a very good draft pick. I understand all of that. But the Knicks are still early on in their season, and they're trying to make things work. They're still working on their chemistry. They're still working on their passing, on their offense, on their defense. But each and every game, as this team continues to play together and they gel, they look better. They drive better. They push the pace better, and they continue to be aggressive. The main thing, you want to know why the Knicks won this game? Because by halftime, the Knicks were up by 19 points, and it was behind 20 team assists. That was one of the main reasons the Knicks blew this game wide open. That, and they were shooting near 50% from the field and near 50% from 3. When you are rebounding the ball, when you are getting second chance opportunities, when you are passing the ball like the Knicks were, and then you're hitting your threes and you're hitting all of your shots, basically, you're not losing this game. And from the first quarter, the Knicks started leading this game, and they never looked back. Second quarter, they demolished the Wizards, going up 19 at halftime. And then, I gotta say it, the third quarter dominance. Are we ready to say this? Are we ready to give it a name? The third quarter of dominance, needs to be something said, because each and every third quarter, whether we're up a little bit or we're down, whatever the case may be, whenever we come out of halftime, we respond. We're aggressive. We're attacking inside, and we're making sure we're playing better defense. That third quarter, I thought our aggression on offense met our aggression on defense, because for those first few minutes, the Wizards couldn't do anything, couldn't score anything, couldn't get anything easy. And when they tried to attack inside, even though it was easy for them in the first quarter and the second quarter, in the second quarter and the first quarter, in that second half, it was not easy for them to attack inside anymore. The Knicks were game planning for that, and they made them have to pass outside. And that's what the Knicks wanted. Now, even though the perimeter defense is still a problem and the transition defense is still a problem, because a lot of the threes that the Wizards missed, they were wide open threes. But the Knicks allowed them to shoot those threes because they did not want them to get easy paint buckets. They did not want them to go into the paint and do whatever they wanted. So they stopped one threat to prepare themselves for another threat. This time around, tonight, it worked, and we got our first win streak of the season. The Knicks tonight, 134 to 106. We demolish, destroy, obliterate the Wizards. Can I say this game wasn't close? First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. The Knicks were leading and leading comfortably. I never thought once in this game we had anything to worry about. And clearly, Tom Thibodeau thought that as well, too, because for the first time in my entire life of watching Tom Thibodeau, and probably for this entire season, I should say, he played the entire bench unit to start the fourth quarter. I think it was mostly the bench unit. It was not all of them. It was one starter and then a lot of the bench unit. Either way, Tom Thibodeau doing that was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't even believe it, guys. I'm thinking I'm having some connection issues here, guys. Give me a second to see if I can fix this for you. Let's see what's going on here. Make sure we're not having no connection issues. Okay. Hope everything's going okay. Seems like I'm losing the stream here for a second. You know how YouTube is, guys. I apologize about that. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. We lost the stream for a few seconds. Not my fault. YouTube sometimes wants to trick me, wants to make it seem like some things have stopped. So I saw some things pause for a second, but I apologize. Shout out to everybody on the live stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat gang. I see you guys. We're going to get to you and your takes in a little bit later for the show. I promise you guys. But going back to that score, as I said, the New York Knicks demolished, absolutely abused the Washington Wizards, 134 to 106. As the great James L. Edwards of The Athletic just stated here, the Knicks begin their first win streak of the season, grabbing their third straight win with a beatdown of the Washington Wizards. Every regular rotation player was good, but James L. Edwards thought that Brunson was fantastic. And there's a reason that he thought that. It's because that Jalen Brunson controlled the pace of this game from the start. As soon as we started, he was aggressive. He was attacking inside. When he saw the double team, he would pass out of it. He would either do a hockey assist, either the Josh Hart to somebody else, or he would fake a pass and then make a shot, or try to fake a shot and then make a pass inside, or he would drive inside, attract so many defenders, and then pass it to the open man. How many times did we see him do that with OG Anunoby, or with Josh Hart, or with Karl-Anthony Towns? Jalen Brunson was abusing them in each and every way. And one thing that I saw tonight that we didn't really see all season long is the Knicks utilizing and abusing the pick and roll. And not only utilizing it when Towns was rolling and they were going to give him the ball. There were times when Towns was rolling and he was aggressive. He looked like a threat, but they never intended to give him the ball. They just wanted him to be a threat. And there's a reason for that, because when that happens, it allows Jalen Brunson to have options and make a decision. Do I want to give it to Towns? Do I want to give it to an open shooter? Or better yet, do I see defenders now going off of me? Now I have a better shot inside. Now I'm going to take that shot and either get contact and go to the line, or still get those 2 points and convert and go back on the other side. That's what I was seeing, and that's what the Knicks were abusing. If New York continues to do that on offense, we're going to see the Knicks have nights like this. Take a look at what New York did tonight. Look at what our stars did tonight. Karl-Anthony Towns for the Knicks tonight as we beat down the Washington Wizards. 24 points in 25 minutes. 24 points in 25 minutes. 3 of 4 from 3 and 12 rebounds. Give me a second, guys. I'm yelling so much, I'm going to lose my voice. I got to take a drink of water here. As we can see here, Karl-Anthony Towns was demolishing the Washington Wizards, doing pretty much whatever he wanted. Let me say this again because it's not going to get said enough. Karl-Anthony Towns is a new player on this team, really early on in the season. If I could say it, probably one of the best offensive performances that I've seen from a player traded to a team, then I can remember, then I can't even think about it. I don't remember the last time I've seen a player contribute on this level offensively, do what he's doing on this level offensively as a new player to a team. He is doing everything you could hope a big man to do. Shooting the three, faking the three, driving, going inside, dunking, taking contact, making Sarr look like exactly what he is, a rookie, a little boy out there. Towns was doing everything he wanted to do to him. It was food out there for him last night. It was food out there for Karl-Anthony Towns tonight, and he let everybody know about it. 24 points in 25 minutes. Add on to that he gave you 3 of 4 from 3, along with 12 rebounds, and then his partner in crime, Jalen Brunson, star of the show in my opinion, 26 points. 5 of 9 from 3, 11 assists, and 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers. Talk about ball handling. He was passing the ball to everyone that was on the court. Josh Hart got it. OG Anunoby got it. Karl-Anthony Towns got it. Mikal Bridges got it. Cam Payne got it. You name it, they got it. Jericho Sims on a pick and roll. He got it on a nasty, incredible dunk. That was incredible from Jericho Sims. We're going to get to Sims a little bit later on in the show because I know a lot of people want to hear my thoughts about Sims, what he did, the amazing things he was doing on offense, the defense. I promise you, we're going to get to him, but I got to go back to our stars real quick in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Again, Jalen Brunson tonight, 26 points, 5 of 9 from 3, 11 assists, and 0 turnovers. I can't tell you how hard it is to be a point guard in this league and try to get yourself 11 assists without turning the ball over once, getting yourself that many points, being impactful, knowing when to take your shot, knowing when the double is coming, and passing out of the double. Talk about high IQ, high-level basketball. That's what Jalen Brunson is giving this Knicks team right now. The way he's able to pass out of the double and find other players that are open, other players that are cutting, and then they're able to convert, and we're going on the other end. That's what Brunson is giving us that's what Brunson is giving to us each and every single night. Whether his offense is going off like tonight or it's not going off like it was last night against the Brooklyn Nets. Either way, it doesn't matter for Jalen because whether it's going good for him on offense or not, he's going to do everything else you want him to do on the court. He's going to pass the ball. He's going to give you the playmaking. He's going to do his best to try to defend, use his body to try to get offensive fouls, to draw those charges, and make sure other players are better alongside him, better around him. I don't think you can ask for a better start for Jalen Brunson to the start to the season as in terms of a point guard. I know you can criticize his points. You can say he hasn't been the same Jalen Brunson because he's not scoring the same way. You're right. He's not scoring the same way, but he's making other players around him better than he ever was before. He's passing at a rate that we've never seen before. And what he's doing now, I would take this over any big Jalen Brunson scoring game because this helps the Knicks more. We are a better team when Jalen Brunson is playing like this. And if he continues this style of play, we're going to be so unstoppable that if you try to double Jalen inside, we're always going to find the open man and likely get the easiest bucket on the court. That's what Jalen was doing. That's what Karl-Anthony Towns was doing. And that's what you start to expect out of our stars. Not only scoring, but playmaking. Jalen was doing that. He's going to get a lot of credit for that. But Karl-Anthony Towns, he deserves just as much credit, if not a little bit more, because when he came to this team, nobody thought he was an elite playmaker, an elite passer, maybe an okay passer. But coming to this Knicks team, he starts to flourish, he starts to shine, and we start to see what he can do as an actual playmaker. Him and OG Anunoby have this connection that is just mind-boggling to me. It is so on point. It is so good. They're finding each other inside, finding each other down low. He's finding him when he's cutting inside. OG just finds a way to be open when nobody else can find where he is on the court. I don't know how you lose somebody like OG, but when you lose him, he's going to find himself open inside. He's going to be cutting, and that's going to be beneficial for the Knicks. Towns finding OG. That connection has gotten better each and every game, and this game, you saw it again. So good once again. I'm so happy to see that connection. Another person we have to talk about off the bench. You got to excuse me, guys. I am going off right now, losing my voice here. You guys see it on the screen there. You guys know who I'm going to be talking about next. Basically, who was our bench tonight in campaign. Campaign tonight, 17 points on 6 of 9 shooting from the field. 5 of 6 from 3. Can I give you that one more time? 5 of 6 from 3. Now, listen, I understand. The Knicks bench is still one of the worst benches in terms of overall scoring in the league because we just don't get enough scoring from enough players. But honestly, we are injured right now as well, too. We're missing Deuce McBride. We're missing Preston Achiuwa. And if Landry Shamet was available, he would probably be playing as well, too. So we're missing a few key bench pieces right now. But the players that we have, we're playing them, and they're stepping up. Campaign is one of those players. Not only tonight, but he stepped up the other night against Brooklyn. And again, the other night against Brooklyn when you played them before, the Sixers game. Each and every time he's on the court, he's doing something impactful, either shooting the ball, passing the ball, helping to get others involved, but his defense as well. When Brunson is off the court and we need somebody to stabilize the offense, we need somebody to run that point guard position, help get others involved, but also play defense and understands how to play with Mikal Bridges. You can count. You can absolutely count on Campaign being able to give you those minutes and being able to control the lead or keep that lead or increase the lead without having to rely on Brunson or put Brunson back into the game or have to worry about Brunson playing significant minutes in order for us to win games. Last season, we thought we had that. Sometimes we thought we could hope for that, but it wasn't always consistent. Campaign right now, it seems while he's healthy, he's giving us the consistent minutes we want off the bench, and you have to love it. I mean, come on now. 17, 7, 5 of 6 from 3, 6 of 9 from the field. That's efficient. That's efficient. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want from a player like Campaign coming off the bench. And he gave you, I think, exactly what we wanted from players coming off the bench tonight, especially with us missing Deuce McBride. So I thought the Campaign addition to the lineup, what he's been doing off the bench, just sensational. Again, for everybody just joining the stream, if you guys didn't see it, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, one of the main reasons we won this game tonight. They were aggressive. They controlled the pace. They made sure they were getting the aggression inside going early. They were finding people early, doing everything they needed to do on offense, making their threes, making sure they were driving and getting contact. This is what you want to see from your stars, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what you want to see. Now, I mentioned that I was going to talk about these two players, but before I do, I want to go to the chat and see what you guys have to say for a little bit before I go back to the rest of the show. I didn't do that before, and I think I got a couple of DMs that told me that you guys wanted me to go to the chat a little bit more. Let's do that here. Nelly Nell says, by the way, shout out to Nelly Nell. Nelly Nell is now officially a member of the channel. So shout out to you, Nelly Nell. I saw you join. I appreciate that. You want to be a member as well, too. All you got to do is be a subscriber. You'll see the join button there. You hit the join button. You can join any tier you want to, and you're a member of the channel, and you're automatically entered for giveaways. So shout out to Nelly for doing that. But let's go to some comments here. Yuri says, I know he's a point guard, but him as a shooting guard would be a good experiment. If he's talking about campaign, I would agree. And I think sometimes you might see him off ball there. Dovid said, hey, Troy, saw someone on X said that OG Anunoby is playing like prime Kawhi Leonard, and I agree. And he looks like a prime Kawhi Leonard too. What's your take on that? Shout out to you, Dovid. I appreciate you. Dovid has been a fan of the channel and also a subscriber to the channel for a very long time, so I appreciate that comment. So let's talk about that. OG Anunoby tonight. OG, and we're going to talk about that stat line, actually. I'm going to pull it up real quick. So OG Anunoby tonight, 30 minutes, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 16 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He had 3 of his 4 free throws, and he was a plus 22 on the night. Now, honestly, almost all the Knicks you look at tonight were a plus because we were all doing positive things. But OG Anunoby, if you're telling me that to you, he might look like a prime Kawhi Leonard in some cases. Maybe you can look at the defense, the way he can make the other opposing players look like little kids out there because he can steal the ball. He can basically do whatever he wants to do in the mid-range. He can fake a 3, drive inside, dunk the ball, whatever he wants to. And his cutting is just top tier. It is elite. I don't think that we can look at OG Anunoby right now and think to ourselves that he's not one of the top tier cutters in terms of getting to the rim in the entire NBA. He's playing like it right now. He looks like it right now. And I said it in a video earlier today, and I'll say it again. OG Anunoby's making a case for all-star. You can't play defense like that. Be aggressive on offense like that. Be a consistent scorer for this Knicks team, a player that we look at and always want to get offense from, and not consider yourself a player that could be an all-star this year. He's playing like one. I think he deserves one. And the defense is still elite. He's giving you that offense with elite defense. The defense hasn't subsided, which oftentimes does happen when you get better on the offensive end or you're elite on the offensive end. But that doesn't seem to plague OG Anunoby. He's just as aggressive on defense as he is on offense. And that is helping us, and that is helping us immensely. It's making sure that we're still controlling players, making sure that we still have that penetration defense, and we're making it hard for other opposing point guards to go inside and do whatever they want to do. And that is something that I credit to OG and also to Mikal Bridges. Wingstop, they were doing what they needed to do tonight. So we have to give credit to those 2 players. But as I mentioned, because I talked about Towns, I talked about Jalen Brunson, I talked about the bench that we had in campaign. But we had a couple of other players on that bench, didn't we? A couple of other players that also gave us an impact. I've criticized one of these players a lot, and I might be eating some crow here, but you know what? I don't mind it because I don't mind admitting when I was wrong and if things changed a little bit. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? We're talking about Jericho Sims and the rookie Pacome Dadier. Now, Dadier, you can go back and look at my history for him. I told the Knicks to play them. So I'm going to talk about Dadier in a second. The one guy I got to talk about, Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims was impressive. And I know the stat line is not going to show how impressive he actually was. 7 rebounds, 1 block, 3 of 4 from the field, plus 13. You look at it and you think to yourself, I mean, Troy, it was okay, plus 13, but the whole team was, positive. Why are you giving praise to Jericho Sims? He deserves it. Absolutely does. I criticize Jericho Sims because he was not aggressive on the offensive end. And what did he do almost immediately when he checked in? Pick and roll with Jalen Brunson. And then Jalen Brunson gives him that ball. He takes that ball up and nearly breaks the rim in the process as he's dunking it. Goes for an and one. And yes, makes the free throw, completes the play. Does that. Gets rebounds. Plays very good defense on the other end. And then he gets open again inside. Now, I think he's going to pass the ball because Jericho Sims oftentimes passes the ball. Surprisingly, gave us, I don't know what you want to call that, a push shot, a floater shot inside the paint. Whatever he was doing, he did that shot inside the paint, converted on another 2 points. Jericho Sims was impressive on both ends of the floor. Defensively, I can see the rim protection. I saw the rebounding, and I also saw when he was inside the paint, he was making sure a couple of other Wizard defenders had a hard time going to the basket. I saw that. I have to give him credit for that. On the offensive side of the ball, not as aggressive as I would like him to be, But is it an improvement from what we've seen? Is it better than what we've seen? In my opinion, absolutely is. Jericho Sims has been better on the offensive side of the ball. And not only this game, it's been a few games, but this game, probably his best because he wasn't hesitating. He was attacking and making sure if he had the shot, he was going to take the shot. And I think he's learning that from everybody on the team. Who else does that? Josh Hart does that too, doesn't he? Used to be Josh Hart would hesitate each and every time he caught the ball from three. Do the hezzy fake with the leg and then try to drive inside. That was a Josh Hart staple. Now, Josh Hart, when he catches the ball, he has confidence in himself to shoot the ball, and he thinks it's going to go in. Oftentimes, it is going to go in because they're uncontested. Like I'm saying before, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. We're talking about the Washington Wizards. We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. These teams are bad. They're bottom of the barrel. So I'm not going to give a lot of praise here. I want to take everything with a grain of salt. But a lot of things that the Knicks had problems with, we were having problems with them with the good teams and the bad teams. So when we beat the bad teams and we beat them like this, dominating them in convincing fashion, I'm going to be a little happy. I'm going to gloat about it a little bit because I'm seeing things improve. And I like what I'm seeing in terms of the improvement. So we have to talk about that. Another thing we have to talk about, because again, we always do it each and every show. We're going to talk about what we saw. Oh, before we get to the shot chart, we're going to get to the shot chart. We're going to get to the stats. We always do that. I missed a player on that list, didn't I? I was so hyped talking about Jericho Sims, explaining all the good things that Jericho Sims does for us, that I forgot one player, didn't I? What was his name again? Oh, yeah, the rookie. The guy that people thought was not going to get any time at all. But injuries led to opportunities. Opportunities led to a little bit of defense. A little bit of defense led to more minutes. And more minutes led to that. Rookie Mikal Bridges off the bench as the Knicks beat the Wizards tonight. 9 points. 3 of 6 from 3. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. The rookie can play. He can play. You can't deny it. Now, when the Knicks are fully healthy, do I expect him to play? When Achua is back, if we get Shamit, all these players, I don't think so. I would probably be holding my breath and really be very surprised. I'd be shocked if we were fully healthy and all of these rookies would be getting time. But am I a little bit surprised that Tom Thibodeau would go back to Mikal Bridges? Just a little bit, even though I made a case for it. I said if you play defense and Tom Thibodeau sees you play defense, he's going to play you more minutes. It seems like that's the case because he played more minutes. He still has a couple of defensive lapses. He gets caught behind screens way too easily. And because of that, it leads to wide open shots for the other team. He has to work on that. But man-on-man defense, switching on defense, rotating on defense, very good already for Mikal. And that three-point shot is money. He's 19 years old. He's 19 years old. And he can shoot like that and play defense like that. And it's year 1. What happens in year 3 or year 4? Is that shot even better? Is his defense even better? Is he a two-way player? The Knicks are looking like they just created a monster. Mikal Bridges is somebody to look at. Ariel Hukporti is somebody to look at. Tyler Kolek is somebody to look at. We could come back in a few years looking back at this year as the year that changed everything for the Knicks. Not only for right now, but for years in the future as well, too. Only time will tell. But early on, our rookies, all of them, not one, not two, all of them have had their moments to shine. Mikal over the last 2 games have done that. Not only with the defense, but his offense. 3-point shot, very good as well, too. Got to give some credit to Mikal Bridges, like what I saw out of him. Also, though, like we always do each and every single game, we break down the team stats and we break down the shot chart just to see where the Knicks were doing their damage, where the Washington Wizards try to do their damage, and what stands out the most. So let's pull it all up here. As you can see here, reviewing the final score again, 134-106. Knicks win this game. We dominate this game early on. Again, really, it was domination because of the way we shot the three. As you can see right there, the New York Knicks shot from the field, 56% from the field and 50% from three. 20 out of 40 three-pointers made. I mean, listen, when you are shooting 50% from three and 56% from the field, it's going to be hard to beat you. They shot 43s and made 20 of them. Of course, you're going to blow out the Washington Wizards. Look what the Wizards shot. Look what they shot conversely. The Wizards shot conversely 33.3%, and from the field, they shot 47.3%. So something that we're noticing is at times, that three-point shot is either going to be very, very high or equal to the paint in terms of percentage because sometimes it's open, or it's going to be very low. I can say tonight, in terms of the Knicks perimeter defense, it wasn't all that great. Sometimes they had their moments. Sometimes they closed out okay. But for the most part, the Washington Wizards missed a lot of open threes or rushed a lot of open threes. They did a lot of their damage inside the paint because they knew when they were missing their shots, all they could do was attack. And they were attacking. That goes back to the defense and something I'm going to continue to say. Did the defense look better tonight? Overall, it did. Not going to lie, it did. As a team, the defense overall looked better. But the same issues still exist. Transition defense, still an issue, especially after scoring. We score and they're running up the court already getting another basket. We have to make sure we're preventing that. And that's the only way to do that is to focus on what they're doing and run up the court, make sure we're communicating and talking out loud, letting everybody know this team is going to run when you make a basket. So you have to make sure you're protecting that and making sure they're not getting any baskets on you. I thought early on when they were attacking inside the paint, they knew that they could. Against Karl-Anthony Towns, everything that Towns does on offense, all the great that Towns does on offense, and he does a lot. Trust me when I say Towns on offense is amazing. One of the best offensive players in the game right now, probably in the NBA, given the numbers he's putting up and the way he's doing it, because he can do it in every way. But defensively, it's still a problem. Defensively, Karl-Anthony Towns still has issues inside the paint because he does not impose that fear into other players that are driving inside. So they're okay. They're comfortable in going to the paint and trying to shoot over him, Euroing around him or passing around him to get an easier bucket or backdoor pass. We've seen it a couple of times already. And we also saw Karl-Anthony Towns get controlled by Jonas Valanciunas a few times. His shot was blocked a couple of times. Jonas was going in on him inside the paint. He was getting his rebounds on him and making sure he was getting points inside the paint on him. And if Jonas can do it, and Jonas is old, doesn't play that many minutes, and he's on Washington right now. We got to remember that. And if Jonas can do it against Towns, that means a lot of centers probably can do it against him as well, too. We have to remember, Towns has a lot of positives in his games, defensively as well, too. Sometimes he does have a couple of positives. But overall, Karl-Anthony Towns, defensively, still has some issues he needs to work on. And I think over the course of the season, he will get better. But I think he's going to get better once we get more players coming back to the team, more players returning like Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson. So we can take the load off of him defensively sometimes and put that load on a Robinson, on an Achiuwa, on another big that we have. Because I think that will help Karl-Anthony because I think that will help Karl-Anthony Towns shine even more when he doesn't have to worry about his defense and just has to focus on his offense. But going back to the shot chart and also the stats here, as you can see with the team assists, 37 assists. The Knicks passed the ball 37 times to the Washington Wizards 23. So they were passing the ball. They were getting rebounds. Even though it was tied 41-41, they were still getting their rebounds. It's not like they were out-rebounded. So that was something to look at as well, too. But when the Knicks are shooting 56% from the field, 50% from three, they're moving the ball and getting 37 assists. They have, in terms of fast break points, 10-4. Nothing really to write home about, but they made sure that the Wizards didn't have really any fast break points. And that's something to understand there and consider, because a lot of times the Knicks get beat in transition. But this time around, even though it still needs work, they tried to make sure that the Washington Wizards could not convert on any transition bucket. And you can see there, fast break is 4-2. So they did a good job of that. Points in the paint, though, the Knicks got outscored by 62. So it was 62-50 in terms of points in the paint from the Washington Wizards to the New York Knicks. Not saying that it matters right now, because the reason they didn't score that many points in the paint for the most part is because they had so many open three-pointers that they couldn't pass them up. why shoot a point shot in the paint? Excuse me. Why score in the paint when you are wide open from three? You might as well shoot the three-pointer, and that's exactly what they did. So that's why the points in the paint really aren't that equal right now. But most of the time, if the three-point shot is not going down for New York, they're going to dominate the points in the paint. We've seen that a number of times from the Knicks during this time. And as you can see here, the largest lead for New York during this game, 34 points. 34 points to the Washington Wizards 5. It was a domination from start to finish. You have to love it. And as you see with the shot chart here, the New York Knicks did their damage at all aspects of the floor. Inside the paint, efficient. Outside the paint, efficient. The Washington Wizards, conversely, got a lot of shots up outside. Look at the amount of threes they got up. Even though they missed a lot of them, they still took 33 threes. They missed a couple of them, but they still were attempting 33 of them. We allowed them to shoot 33 of them. So that's something to wonder and understand, because a lot of times when you're going up against the good teams, are the good teams going to be missing those shots? Are the good teams not going to be making those open threes? I think that they will. That's why the amount of threes that we allow teams to shoot, how wide open that they are, how late we are on closeouts, it's always going to bother me. And it's going to continue to bother me until the Knicks are able to fix it. And with the talent that we have on this roster, we should be able to do that. But the points in the paint, as you saw there, the Knicks were outscored in the paint, but that's only because we were shooting the three lights out at 50%. And when you're doing that, you don't really have to worry about scoring inside. So understand that. Excuse me. I drink some water here. But understand that, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you guys so much for joining the stream today and joining me as we break down the Knicks and everything they were doing tonight during the game against the Washington Wizards when we blew them out and got 3 of those things. 3 games, a win streak in our hands. So happy to see it. We're about to go to the live chat like we always do to get your comments about the game, your take about the game, and see what you guys thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. And if you're watching this on the playback, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys didn't like in the game tonight against the Wizards, what you guys did enjoy, if you like the ball movement, things like that, because I would really like to hear from you guys. One more time here again, the Knicks 134, the Wizards 106, dominant from start to finish. Like I do before I go to the chat, I just want to read a couple of notes here from the game that I took down as I was watching live. So just going a couple of quarter to quarter. First quarter, the Knicks three-point defense and transition defense I knew had an issue early on, but I love OG Anunoby continue to move without the ball. Cat continues to be aggressive, especially with the rookie on him, and he needed to do that because when you see a rookie on you, you have to make sure you take advantage of that matchup. Going into the second quarter, Pacome Dadier had good defense, good three-point shooting, and he made back-to-back threes, I believe, or a couple of threes for the Knicks while he was in the game. Something to look at, because if he can continue to do that and give you the defense that you need, Pacome is going to be somebody. A force underneath, or a force, excuse me, not underneath, a force at the three-point line, a force in the corner that you can always look to if you're down or you need a basket or you need another threat. Pacome can become that for the Knicks. And in that third quarter, we saw that Cat continued to be aggressive. OG Anunoby and Cat had that connection, and they continue to get better and better each and every time they play inside. Shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Shout out to this Knicks team for continuing to find ways to win, even though we're not fully healthy and we're missing a few players. We're still putting wins together. 3 of them things. We got a win streak, and we're trying to get our 4th win straight when we have a tough opponent on Wednesday against the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a tough game, but that's going to be another test that I absolutely believe the Knicks are ready for, and they're going to come prepared and ready to play. But without further ado, guys, like I do, let's go to the chat and see what you guys have to say. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys joining me. If you guys haven't done so already, smash the like button. Make sure we're getting this stream up even more, because when you hit the like button, it's helpful for the algorithm and make sure the video is seen by more people. So, excuse me. So you guys could really help me out if you just hit that like button, just so we can get this video more in the algorithm. Let's see here. Go into the comments. Rob says, glad Jericho Sims may be getting some confidence, but also remember, Precious will be back too. I can't remember in a long time when we were 100% healthy. I like Dadier. I like Dadier too. I thought Dadier was great tonight for the Knicks. Defense was great. His three-point shooting was efficient. Very good minutes from Dadier tonight. Keith says, Dadier going to be good. Give him time. We're going to give him time. We have to. Nothing else we can do. We might as well develop him. Why not else do anything else? Pacone being developed is going to be a threat for us moving forward. And I love what that sounds like, honestly, guys. Nelly Nell says, Leon Rose played chess, not checkers. Listen, man, the way he drafted, what we got, all of the players on our team right now, if we were to utilize them the right way and expand the rotation, you could see minutes from Tyler Kolek, phenomenal. Ariel Hukporti, phenomenal. Pacome Dadier, phenomenal for what we need them for this team. Just love what I saw there. The Meow of Wisdom says, hey, Troy, I feel like playing Jericho Sims at power forward and Ariel Hukporti at center on the floor together can be a genius decision for now so we can use those bodies. What do you think? I think we saw that tonight, or at least we saw it the other night against Brooklyn. I think it was Brooklyn, actually, we saw it, where he played both of those guys together. Do I think we'll see it? Yeah, I think we'll see it. And shout out to Jericho Sims, if you guys didn't know. 7 rebounds, 1 block, 3 or 4 from the field tonight, plus 13. I think that Jericho Sims has the ability, when Precious Achiuwa comes back, to find consistent minutes on the floor. However, I think that Ariel Hukporti at the center position and Jericho Sims at the 4 position doesn't work just because Jericho is not aggressive enough on offense. If Jericho was more aggressive on offense, maybe I would consider it working, but I just don't see that being the case. But I appreciate the comment. Jericho Sims has the ability, though. Oh, by the way, guys, Been an OG is one of the shirts you can find in the Knicks Recap merch store. You can find that merch store. It's a spread shop store on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube channel. Go to the, I think it's the merch section of the channel. And you'll be able to shop all of these great designs like this right here, or like a Knicks Recap hat if you want to. So anything I got on right now, if you want any of it, all you got to do is go there and just shop right there. I believe there's a discount going on the site right now, store-wide. So you might be able to get a discount on one of these items as well, too. So definitely check that out. But thanks for the question, the Meow of Wisdom. I appreciate it. I don't think that Jericho being at the 4 is going to help us at all, just because he's not that aggressive. We need more aggressive inside. Nelly Nell says Dadier is a diamond in the rough. He is. Pacome Dadier new nickname should be NYPD. Don't give me all the credit because I hear from someone else. Why NYPD? Why? Because he's robbing? I'm trying to understand why it's NYPD. Because he's a thief? Because he's destructive? I don't know. You got to give me an answer to that. News from everywhere, too, says Mikal Bridges struggled a little bit tonight. I'm not going to lie, especially with that shot. Mikal Bridges, let's go to that stat line. I don't think I talked about him during the show just because, we only have a limited time. So I want to make sure I get to the more important players who had the most impact. 35 minutes today for Mikal Bridges, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 of 14 from the field. He actually picked up the shooting, I thought, in that second half, but obviously 0 from 4 from 3. So nothing from there. And plus 32 on the night as well. I want to see if that was the highest plus minus. That was actually the highest plus minus on the entire team. So shout out to Mikal Bridges. He was doing what he needed to do. Got the highest plus minus on the team. And like I said, I mentioned his shooting. His offense wasn't really there early on in that first half. I mean, he was missing a lot of shots. A lot of the easy shots he was making inside, he was missing. But in that second half, he came alive for some reason. He was making his shots. He was getting everything inside. And I'm not really worried about Mikal Bridges and his mid-range game. He's near automatic. But him having a team high plus 32, yeah, Mikal Bridges plays defense. He shuts down other players, and he makes sure his help defense is top tier. Mikal in that defense that we wanted, we're starting to get it. And you're now starting to see what it looks like. Stopping penetration, making it hard for penetrators, making sure that they can't even do anything when they're inside because they're suffocated by so much top tier defense by either Anunoby or by Mikal. Mikal even says he learns from OG, and he praises OG for how good his defense is. Can you imagine that? Mikal's already good, and he's learning from OG. My goodness, ridiculous. Let's keep it going here. Carl says, New York Pacome Dadier. That's what it stands for. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you, Carl. That's a good one. I might make a picture about that. I might have to do that. No lie. I might, and if I do it, I might do it for subscribers. So you might actually not see it. But if you were a subscriber, anybody is a subscriber, you might get that image for you guys. News from everywhere says, amazing. He picked up his game. I agree. OG is amazing. OG's a monster. OG's been on demon time for the entire season, entire preseason. The aggression is just phenomenal. The cutting is just, I mean, OG and Anunoby cutting. How do you stop that? Fakes, shoots the three, fakes, drives inside, fakes, drives, shoots the three, does whatever you want him to do. I mean, come on. OG's playing top tier basketball right now, ladies and gentlemen, and you love to see it. He's been the best player offensively on the court some nights, and that's including with Jalen Brunson playing some nights. That's how good he's been. Elite on both ends of the floor. Give credit where credit is due. OG, phenomenal. Let's see here. Nelly Nell says, the Knicks shooting barrage continues. The way they were shooting that three, I mean, the first quarter, we were already up. I knew in my heart, I didn't want to say it because, you know, you feel like if you say something, it's like the basketball gods are watching. And if you say it, it's not going to come true. It's not going to happen. So I didn't say it, but I wanted to kind of try out and say that, hey, the Knicks are probably going to blow out the Wizards because we were up after that first quarter, 40 points, 13-point lead going into the second quarter. We had 40. That's why I thought it was going to be a blowout. And then in halftime, going up by 19. I mean, of course you thought it was going to be a blowout. There's no way to think anything else. Second quarter comes, we still start destroying them. We destroy them even more, and we get the score up to 35? To 35 points? You're not stopping that. And every time they try to even make a little mini run, they couldn't put anything together. They couldn't make shots together. The Knicks continued their aggressive defense, their aggressive offense, and every time they made a shot, they could never get a stop. The Knicks continued to make shot after shot. So it didn't matter what the Washington Wizards did because they really can't play defense. They're a terrible team defensively. Everything that they did well on offense, they gave back on defense. Didn't matter. That's why the Knicks continued to abuse them. It was an abusive matchup to watch, ladies and gentlemen, but beautiful to watch as well, too, if you love the Knicks, because just watching them dominate teams, it's beautiful for me. I don't know about you guys. Some people don't like blowouts, but when my team is the one blowing out another team, I love to see it because during those games, I'll probably see some players I never thought I would see, like Pacome Dadier, like these other characters. Just great basketball overall. You love to see it. Shout out to the Knicks and shout out to everything we did tonight. 3 of them things. Let's see here. David says, Pacome Dadier is such a great young talent and he makes me feel old. I'm turning 24 next month. My goodness, 24. Shout out to you. Happy early birthday. Hopefully next month you can win the giveaway for your birthday. We're going to be doing a giveaway that day. So if you do win, let me know. It'd be great. That'd be a great birthday present for you. Let's see what other comments we have here. News from everywhere too says, shout out to Tyler Kolek. He's a dime. How good do you think the Suns are winner losses? Excuse me. Couldn't even read that for a second there. Sorry about that news. The Suns are a very good team this year. Very, very good. Kevin Durant, very good. Devin Booker, very good. They're coached well. Budenholzer knows how to coach that team well. They're making sure, actually, that in terms of the way they're playing, they're not utilizing Devin Booker as the number one option. They're utilizing Devin Booker kind of like as the third option. And if he has it going, they'll give him the ball because he's hot. But he's not looking for his offense early on, trying to be aggressive. That belongs to everybody else. Now, if they have to deal with injury, and obviously they do because they have a lot of players out right now, so the Knicks are catching a little bit of a break here because of the injuries that they have. But just because they're injured doesn't mean they're not going to be a good team. They have players on that team capable of going off at any given time. And Devin Booker is one of those guys. But it's going to be a test, though. If we beat the Phoenix Suns, who are looking very good right now, I will feel even better about this Knicks team because I'll consider that a quality win. Even though we won against the Nets and we won against the Wizards, a lot of people are going to say, that's great, but those teams are trash. They're not great teams. So even though you won those games, do you really feel good about them? That's why you want to put these wins together with beating good teams and bad teams, because nobody can say anything at that point. The Knicks have a way to make a statement. If they can beat Phoenix, destroy them, which they can do, by the way their offense is flowing right now. You shoot 50% from 3 and 50% from the field, you can destroy any team. If they destroy the Suns, they'll make a statement in the league. Send a loud, clear statement that whoever you saw before against Boston, we've already evolved. We're not that team any longer. We're different and we're better. Daniel says, Knicks should be 11-3, but it's good. They are working things out early. You're right. We could have won a lot of games that we lost, but I'm not upset about it because, listen, why would I be upset about it when I know the Knicks right now are going to become a better team anyways once the chemistry comes together, once we get players returning, once those players return and they play defense alongside Karl-Anthony Towns. So he's not our sole lone big playing defense inside. We have other bigs playing defense inside. That's going to help. That's no knock to OG Anunoby. He's not really playing defense inside unless his man's inside. He's playing defense on the outside, making sure he stops penetrators. And if penetrators get in, he's following them, hounding them, trying to block the shot. What else do you want from OG Anunoby? OG, phenomenal play. Dovid says, I know this is usually Knicks talk, but the Pistons are looking better than last season. They have more wins at this point than they did last year. Dovid, I'm going to say this about the Pistons. The Pistons suck. I don't care about the Pistons. The Pistons suck. The Pistons can go away. I'm not thinking about them. Nobody's thinking about. The Pistons are not even thinking about the Pistons. Even though they're winning games, they're not even caring they're winning games. They don't want to win games. They want to lose games. They want to continue to lose games. They don't care. Right now, they want to try to get the worst pick possible as possible because they want to add more young talent to their team. So, yeah, I don't care that Detroit's winning. Detroit sucks. I'm all about the Knicks. I'm all about us winning, and I'm all about us dominating other teams. So I hope we continue to do that. But shout out to you. I know that you were just trying to give your thoughts about a whole different perspective there. News for Everywhere says, if the Knicks were fully healthy, what record do you think they would have? Good question. Let's see here. We're 8-6 right now, right? 2 games over 500. We probably have 12 or 13 wins, I'd say, just because I wouldn't worry about the defense inside. That was the biggest concern for me. The defense, how the defense would look. If you cleared the defense inside, if you don't have that issue, yeah, 12 or 13 wins, absolutely. Because look at the offense. We shot 50% from 3 tonight. We shot above 50% from the field. And the offense isn't even fully together. It is not fully good. It's not fully put together in terms of chemistry. And we're shooting like this. When we're fully together, I don't know, 50, 55, 60% might be the average. That sounds insane to talk about, but that's where we are. That's exactly where we would be. John says, JB don't need to do it all now. Not worried about him scoring. He's making his teammates better, and when we need him to score, he proved that he can. John, I got to agree with you. He's one of the main, I said it during the start of the show. He's one of the main reasons we won this game. He was passing the ball when we needed him to pass, scoring the ball when he was open, passing out of the double teams. The way that him and Karl-Anthony Towns are passing out of these double teams are just phenomenal. It is very, very good passing. I love to see it. I love to see what they're actually doing, and they're making a case right now. If they continue to play this way, passing out of the doubles and making their teammates better, I mean, they are playing a way of basketball right now, a brand of basketball that a duo typically would play with themselves. They're playing with the rest of their teams because they're utilizing what that duo is capable of, their strengths, to make the rest of that lineup better. You know how many times they spammed the pick and roll but never went to it? They spammed Karl-Anthony Towns driving to the rim but never went to it. But then they passed it along to a Mikal Bridges instead, to an OG and Anunoby instead, to an open Josh Hart or a cutting OG. They did all of that like that when they were making decisions, jumping inside and having to make a split decision on either to pass to one another, pass to an open shooter, or make the shot themselves. It's a split decision, but they make the right decision a lot. You know what that tells me? They're practicing a lot, they're working together a lot, and they're making sure that they know where they are on the floor at all times. They're communicating. That helps. It helps. Our stars are looking good together. The better they look, the better our team is going to look. OG is open all the time. All the time. You think it's a coincidence he's open all the time with Jalen on the floor and Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor? Those guys draw doubles. When they drive inside, they attack a lot. And when they attack, they're going to take 2, sometimes 3 defenders with them. Wings are open. Perimeter is open. The Knicks are passing, finding those players, and they are getting the open look. And most of the times, those shots are going in. That's why the Knicks look so good. Most of the time last year, they were forcing the offense. They would be contested and still try to make that shot. They wouldn't pass the ball. The offense would be stagnant. This time around, the offense isn't stagnant anymore. The offense is actually the offense isn't stagnant anymore. The offense is actually free-flowing. It's an actual free-flowing offense. Everybody's moving. Everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's cutting to the basket. And when they're open, they're not hesitating. They're hitting their shot. They're making their shot. And they're running back to play defense. That's different. We haven't really seen that from this Knicks team. The way they're passing the ball, that means they can pass the ball like this every single night. Some nights, when this team is fully healthy, they could average maybe 40 assists a night. Because the way Jalen can pass the ball, the way Josh Hart can pass the ball, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG, Mikal Bridges. Yes, I said OG because OG, what he's been doing, he's been running inside the paint, breaking down the defense, and passing the ball to an open shooter. Doing it so many times, but still breaking down the defense as he does it. Everybody in that starting unit can break down the defense, pass the ball, and find another open shooter. When you have that, it's hard to stop that, especially when everything is firing on all cylinders. Everything is firing on all cylinders. We see that. It's amazing to watch. Beautiful basketball. I love the free flow of the offense, and I love the ball movement. It's beautiful when you watch ball movement like that. The ball not sticking. Nobody playing one-on-one so often. It's just, I can't believe it, guys. Amazing to see. Let's keep it going here. Agree, David. Even thought Cat fouls a lot. His effort and fight is there. David says, though, Cat is strong. He's a beast. Defense is still not the best, but the effort is there. The effort from Cat is everywhere. Everything about his game is amazing. Superb. David, I will agree with that. I still got to give him some poking on the defensive end there. I will say it. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Offensively, there's nothing you can take away from Towns. Towns offensively is probably one of the best players I've seen join a Knicks team and have an impact like him. I can probably count on my hands the amount of bad games he's had for the Knicks on offense. He's always been so good on offense. The only thing that ever stops his offense is either his foul trouble. And that means that it's himself. Towns stops himself. Nobody else can stop Towns besides himself and the foul trouble. When he's not in foul trouble, his offensive game is incredible. Defensively, I'll give you that. He does give effort. He gives a lot of effort on defense. Some nights, more effort than other nights. We got to acknowledge that. But even though he does that, it's still different. It's not enough. And he does not impose any fear in opposing players that go to the rim. And if you're a big in this league and you cannot put that fear in an opposing player and they continue to attack you, go around you, shoot shots over you, it's telling you that your paint defense needs to get better. And at this point, the only way for it to get better is for the Knicks to play a double big lineup, to put another big right alongside Karl-Anthony Towns So all the defensive pressure does not fall on him. It falls on both of our bigs. You separate the work so you can maximize the offense of both of those players. Maybe that's Achua and Cat. Maybe that's Sims and Cat. Right now, it seems like Tom Thibodeau doesn't want to do either. He wants to play a traditional one big lineup only and not play two bigs unless it's garbage time. Then he might experiment with it. So something to keep a look at there. The Meow of Wisdom says, hey, Troy, I just got to ask, as a hypothetical scenario, if the Knicks still had Randall and Dante, where would our record be with them? Although I'm still saying Towns is an absolute beast. Oh, that's a tough question to answer, man. I might get hate for this. I would think it's the same as if we were fully healthy. So I said about 12 to 13 wins. About the same, 12 to 13 wins. Because what we would have lacked in all the talent, we would have made up in the chemistry. Because we had all the chemistry there with all of those guys. The only new player that we had coming in is Mikal Bridges. And as you see here, Mikal was always probably going to start slow, but we would have had other players who understood how it felt like to play with Jalen, to play with Randall, to have that chemistry built up. So we might have not dropped the early games. We might have started a little bit stronger, but that's all back in the past. Where it's like, again, it's a hypothetical, like you said. We're never, ever going to be there at this point, so no reason to think about it, but I appreciate your question. Last question here from Daniel, and then we're going to close out for the post game for the night. So Daniel says, David, good question. Maybe that changed based on opponent. Healthy Mitchell Robinson is what David is saying here. Robinson, yeah, wonder how the lineup would work. Who goes to the bench? Hart? Very good question there. I'm just going to read a couple of comments that we have here because we got a couple of other people joining the chat a little bit late. Isa says, who do you think wins tomorrow? Cavs and Boston. And do you think we beat the Cavs with this new chemistry? I think the Cavs beat Boston tomorrow. I think they beat them in a blowout. I don't know why. It's just that the way the Cavs have been playing right now, it just seems like a blowout fashion. So I think that's what's going to happen there. I think the chemistry we have now can't beat the Cavs. I think the chemistry we have in June will be able to beat anybody in the league. So I think that's the difference there. We're not there yet, but we will be. And once we're there, we'll be pretty unstoppable. Teams are going to have to start fearing us. That's what I think when it comes to that. John says, big question is, who's the odd man out when fully healthy? You have Mitch, Precious, Deuce, Cam, Dadier, Sims for the bench. I can answer that question easily. Dadier and Sims will absolutely not be part of the lineup. They will not be part of this rotation once we have Precious Achua back and Mitchell Robinson back. Maybe even Landry Shamet back. Some of these guys that are our favorites that are getting a lot of minutes right now, they're not going to be playing because they weren't going to be playing before the season started when we were healthy. There was a reason for that. And we saw it a couple of games in when we were at the situational part of the season and we still didn't see the rookies. The rookies, unfortunately, do not get a lot of time under Tom Thibodeau. What do you think happens when he does not, what do you think happens when, unlike these situations where he doesn't really have a choice, what happens when he does have a choice and he has other players that he trusts? He's probably going to go to the players that he trusts and not really any other players like the rookies. Not saying that the rookies don't deserve it. I already made a case that Pacome should get more consistent minutes, that Hakaporti should get more consistent minutes. But I'm not the coach. I can't make the coach do that. Only Tom Thibodeau can do that. And given the record and the history that we've seen under Thibs, he will always go with experience, years played in the league, and trust. And the reason he has years played in the league is because the defense of a player who's been in this league for about 4 to 5 years, it's different for a number of reasons. The strength of that player, the body of that player, and the understanding on the defensive end. Rookies, for everything they do, they just don't have that understanding yet. They all have to develop it. And Tom Thibodeau is just not in the mentality, if you will, of playing the rookies and playing them significant minutes when he has players that he would rather play, that he trusts, that have more time put into the league. It's also kind of a rite of passage thing, if you will. You have so much time put into the league. You're not a rookie anymore. They are, and you haven't played. But when you do play, you have an impact. It's kind of like giving those minutes to a player that's already paid their dues so many times, so many seasons already, maybe not getting the minutes that they should have gotten, and now finally are able to step up and get those minutes. That probably has something to do with it. It's probably not the only reason, but something that I've been thinking about, because if you're just thinking about talent and skill level, I mean, Huck Porty deserves to be out there. So does Pacome, honestly. So does Tyler Kolek, honestly. But the reason we're not going to see it is because there's a lot of other things that we don't see as well, too. Let's see here. Oh, it's James again. Do we have a... Let's see. Do we have any... we do not have another person in here, so just going to have to hide him. There we go. Sorry, James, you're out of here. What I did actually for James right now, because James is the recent net troll that we have in the chat. I used to time him out, but he's gotten so bad with his trolling that I just hit him from the channel. Now, I don't like to do that. I don't like to permanently put somebody out and make sure they can't join the chat anymore. But when you're disrupting all of the things we're trying to do, and we're trying to have a conversation, and you're a Nets fan, I mean, your life's already miserable. Why do you want me to make it worse for you? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the reason you have a bad dream at night. You have a nightmare. You dream about the Knicks winning a championship. I mean, again, that's a nightmare for you, not really a nightmare for anybody else, you know? I'm sorry, James. I can't believe I have to continue to do this. I apologize. You can continue to get your accounts out there though, bro. If you want, you can continue to put your accounts out there. I'm going to continue to mute all of you. Look all your messages. Gone. Gone. There you go. And look at that. The chat has responded very well. We got people in here saying, stop fighting us. F the Nets, laughing. James taking L's on a Monday. He's taking L's and he's not playing. We're playing. Why is he here? What? He's probably an undercover Knicks fan. You can't come to every single Knicks stream I do and not be an undercover Knicks fan. It's just impossible. You can't like me that much. I can't be that wonderful. I mean, listen, I know I got the energy. I know I got the passion. I know people like listening to the takes. They like the vibe. I get it. I understand. But you're a Nets fan. There's no way I've converted you with my positivity to join us to listen to all of my streams. So listen, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, stay on that side. Nobody needs the Nets. Nobody wants the Nets. Please, just stay over there. Stay over there. Stop coming to the streams. Stop making comments. Stop talking about your team. I don't want to talk about your team. You don't want to talk about your team. Nobody wants to talk about your team. Your fan base doesn't want to talk about your team. That's why there's no post game for your fan base. You keep coming to my post games because you can't talk about anything else. Now I got to drink some more water. Losing my voice here. I go through like 6 bottles a day freaking drinking water because I got to yell at James for 45 minutes of stream. Come on, James. Stop making accounts. Oh, my goodness. You see this? This is 3 accounts. Is everybody seeing this? Is everybody seeing? Before I do anything, is everybody seeing this? This is 3 accounts. 3. I mean, at some point, BetterHelp, please sponsor me, okay? I have a candidate for you right now. He is going through it. His team used to be popular in New York and now is one of the worst teams in the league, and he cannot handle it. It's a problem. It's a problem. I don't have the help. Can anybody put the link for BetterHelp inside the chat, please? He needs it. Okay? He needs it. All right? He's not doing too well. Ladies and gentlemen. He needs a little bit of help. So, 3 accounts. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. 3 accounts. 3 accounts just to come on the stream and say hi to me. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit popular. Yeah, Yuri, I guess James came in and He just started trying to troll the chat, trying to do everything possible, trying to derail the show. I had to hide him from the chat at this point. It was just impossible. It wasn't going to work. Jack Franzinzo. Jack, what's going on, man? He says, New York's got something special brewing. Wingstop's legit. And eventually, when Mitch returns, this team's going to click on all cylinders. Cat plus Brunson chemistry needs to keep growing, but there's a clear window there. I got to agree with you. 100%. I think the chemistry between Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns is getting better. Each and every game, I think it gets better. They're playing the pick and roll a few more times every game. They're finding each other. They're both passing out of double teams very well. I like the way they're both aggressive. I think that Jalen Brunson has also been giving a lot of good effort on the defensive end. Same thing for Karl-Anthony Towns. He's been doing that as well, too. This team is very, very good offensively, and they're only on level 1 of a level 5 tier of where they can be on offense. When it comes to defense, I don't think we can judge this team completely fully yet on how good they're going to be as a team defensively until we get more players back. But as a team right now defensively, with our current roster, it's not great. I mean, we have a lot of problems. Perimeter defense still a problem. Paint defense still a problem. I don't care. You can kill me all in the comments that you want to. I know Towns tries. I know he gives efforts. But even though he gives effort, it doesn't stop anybody from attacking him, going in on him, penetrating, creating, going to the line. I can't imagine those things. I wish they weren't true, so I didn't have to say them. But they are. That's why I do. Let's keep it going here, though. Yuri says, I legit just banned his account. What the blue heck? I don't know, Yuri. I really, really don't know. I don't like to ban people. I like to remove them sometimes so they can, do whatever they want to do. But stop trolling the chat. I mean, nobody wants to talk about the Nets. We're the Knicks. It's the Knicks. Let's see here. News from everywhere too says, do you think the only reason people go for the Nets is because of winning picking? I think the only reason people go with the Nets is because they've traded for stars. They have been attractive to a lot of non-New Yorkers, people who are player fans like the Nets, because all of their favorite players were traded to the Nets. That's how I think that fan base is made out of. That's why they can't sell anything, because there's not really a lot of they can't really sell anything because there's not really a lot of New Yorkers that are Net fans. There's a very small minority of New Yorkers that are actually Net fans, even less now because of the way the Nets look and the way the Knicks look. So there's been a shift going on. A lot of the Nets fans probably stem from their favorite player being on the Nets, and now they just became a fan because sometimes they like the underdog. It's an underdog story, whatever. I don't care. I don't like the Nets. They're garbage. They're a garbage franchise. They're a garbage team, and they're going to continue to be garbage. Our team, the Knicks, we're going to continue to thrive because we continue to do things like this. 134 to 106. The Knicks continue to win, put wins together, and continue to dominate. And that is exactly what I love to see. Couple more comments here, and then I think we're going to have to close it up. I said that about 10 minutes ago, but after I said that, we had a slew of other people come into the chat. So I have to make sure I got to everybody's comment. Lenton says, let's see in a few games how things are trending. I think if it continues to do the same, it's going to be a very positive trend. But I hear where you're coming from because the next game is against the Phoenix Suns, and that will be a test. We got to remember, we're on a very long West Coast trip right now. We're not going to be home for a long time. We're not going to be home for a long time. This was our last home game, I think, for the next, 6, 7, 8 games, probably? We're on the road for a very long time going forward here. So we're going to have to make sure we're winning these games on the road, beating these difficult teams, and making sure when we leave, we are still games over 500. Not a game, games over 500. We are currently 2 games over 500. I like to keep it that way. Or get better, not get worse. I don't want to get worse on the road. We used to be a very good road team last year. We have to get back into the habit of being a very good road team again. Winning on the road is going to be important. We got to start doing that again. Let's see here. Jack. Oh, no, Jack is replying to somebody else, so I'll let him do that. Let's see here. Lenton says, the offense is good. Defense is just not. It's an individual thing. Well, excuse me. Let me read that again. The offense is good. Defense is not. Just an individual thing. It's a team thing. I think you're trying to say it's not an individual thing. It's a team thing. If you're saying that, I do agree with you. Team defense is a problem, but there are some individual defense that's also an issue as well, too. I mean, I can talk about the individual defense tonight that Jonas Valanciunas did on Karl-Anthony Towns and what Towns did vice versa on Jonas Valanciunas. And a lot of times did not box him out. A lot of times he got beat for the rebounds, and a lot of times he was able to get scored on. And he got his shot blocked, I think, once or twice by Valanciunas. Because sometimes when he runs inside, he puts his head down and he tries to throw up the shot, think he's going to get contact. And if the defense can read that, they're going to block his shot. When he's playing against other guards and he's driving against other guards, he can get away with that a lot easier because he can see the basket a lot easier. Against another big, he's blocked a lot more. So that shot's likely not going to go in. And because of the size, he might be able to alter the shot without a foul being called. And I think we saw that a couple of times here tonight. But good question. Lethan says, hey, Troy, keep up the good work. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try to do post games as much as I can. Oftentimes, I'm not able to do it all the time, but I do try my best to do as many post games as I can and try to give you guys as much content as I can. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys, all the people that love and enjoy it and appreciate it. It really does mean a lot to me. Last comment here from News, and then we're going to end it. News from everywhere says, do you think being in the East is an advantage? Appreciate that. And that's the last comment for tonight. You guys were amazing. You guys were great. I appreciate the post game that you guys continue to attend for me. You guys continue to show up, show out, give support, subscribe, like this video, like this video, share this video. You guys are doing everything. And I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. When I see all you guys in the live chat, when I see all the likes, all the support, all the views, everybody coming together and wanting to see what I'm saying, what's happening with the Knicks and everything going on, it really means a lot to me. So shout out to, first of all the supporters, all the members, and everybody that continues to show up to these post games each and every night. If you're new here, welcome. I can't wait to see you moving forward. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We're definitely on a road here to try to get to 20,000 subscribers. So if you're watching right now but not subscribed, it could even mean so much more if you just went ahead, smash that like button, and then hit that subscribe button as well too. It really does support everything we're creating, and it helps us get more into that brand we're trying to grow into. So guys, thank you again. It's been amazing to talk to you guys. An amazing show as well too. But going back to News's question, before we end the show, he asked a question asking regarding the Knicks and being in the East. Is it an advantage? Yes, absolutely an advantage. The West is a tough, very, very tough atmosphere. Not saying that the East hasn't gotten better over the years. It has been. And I think over the next few years, as trades happen, free agency, all of these things, I think the East is going to get just as strong as the West. But as of right now, the East is weaker than the West, and being in the East will always be an advantage just because of that fact. But New York has to make it an advantage as well, too. If you lose to the Chicago Bulls, you're not making it an advantage being in the Eastern Conference. You need to beat the teams that you have to beat. The East is weak. Beat those weak teams. The strong teams, make a statement against those teams. I feel like the Knicks have the personnel and the talent to do that. So hopefully we do see that. But for tonight's game, could not be happier. We got our first win streak of the season. We got 3 of them things. We did it on the backs of Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, how aggressive they were on offense, the level of defense that Wingstop was giving us, the way we were raining down threes from the start of the game to the end of the game. We were passing the ball, making sure we got the open man open, got the open look. And once that happened, it was like practice. We were making those shots and not missing at all. I'm not saying every night's going to work its way out to be like that, but if we can continue to move the ball, move ourselves, make easy baskets, our percentages from the field from 3 might mirror where they are tonight. And if they're even close to 50 or even 55% from the field or 50% from 3 each and every night, that's going to give us the chance to blow out teams. And I think you saw what the Knicks are capable. We are capable of dominating and destroying teams when the three ball is going in, when our offense is flowing, and when our defense is stopping penetration and making sure when they get inside, they have a tough shot to make. And I think in that third quarter, you saw all of these things line up for New York. If they can play 48 minutes like that, this changes the dynamic. It changes who the Knicks go after, and it changes the type of team that we are. The Knicks are a team right now that are still figuring it out. They're still wondering who they are, where their identity lies. And I think that identity is going to lie with them being extremely aggressive on offense and also on defense. And the person that's going to set the tone is OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns and Josh Hart. As a team, that starting lineup and the way we play, that's the tone setter. And once they set the tone, they're going to continue to play at that. We saw it again tonight. We're going to continue to see it each and every night. And I love to see what this Knicks team can do when we're aggressive. So hopefully, when we face the Phoenix Suns, we continue being aggressive. An aggressive Knicks team, a dominant defensive Knicks team, a team that is locked in and focused, understanding that putting wins together right now is important, understanding that being healthy when we go to the postseason is important. That type of team is dangerous, and we're turning into that team right before our eyes with ball movement, with good individual defense, with good player movement, and also with our stars reading the room, reading where our other players are, and making sure we understand where they want the ball, where they're going to be open for the ball, and where's the best place for them to catch it. The Knicks have been playing good basketball, beautiful basketball, and it's been amazing to watch. Continue the ball movement, continue the player movement, and good things will happen. As in another victory, maybe against the Phoenix Suns, maybe against the top tier teams, maybe against the teams that other players, other NBA analysts, other NBA insiders are saying that right now we can't beat because it's too early on. Let's prove everybody wrong. Let's prove them all wrong by walking in Wednesday night to the Phoenix Suns arena, beating them, dominating them, and making sure we get that victory and putting 4 fingers up. Because at that point, it will be 4 of them things. We're capable, we're strong enough, and we have what it takes. But what about you guys? What did you think about tonight's game against the What about you guys? What did you think about tonight's game against the Washington Wizards? Did you like the way the Knicks dominated? The Knicks destroyed Washington. The way we rained down threes. The way we got them into so much trouble early on and they could never recover. Again, 134 to 106. The Knicks were dominant for the entire game, and you gotta love it. Please let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.